Okay, so we're going to pick up again where we left off. Now we're going to make an image gallery in our file. So we're going to go back to having our PHP, and I'm just going to use this stuff and refactor it. We'll have a little less white space. And I'm going to come out here and put my comment about making a thumbnail gallery. And before I start doing the for each stuff, one of the first things that I'm going to do is I want to announce, I'll put a little note about announce the gallery. And what I'm going to do here is put an H, so I'm going to end my PHP and I'll start it up again down here. And I'm going to put some HTML that is, let's say it's an H2, since I probably would already have an H1 at this point. And I can have this as a class of gallery. And we'll end it. And then here's where I would echo. Oops. And what do I want to echo here? If I want to make a title here, you know, what I would want to echo would be like, if you look up at the top, what we have is the target gallery. Well, I could echo the target gallery, but the problem is it's going to have, you know, underscores and forward slashes and, you know, all of that stuff. So if I want, I could leave it there for right now. And we'll just say that it's going to be the target gallery, and then later, whenever we start to do some more cool stuff to this application, then we can have it echo something a little bit different. It's a little bit more modified. So for right now, it's going to look like, you know, something that looks like a pathway, but that'll be fine for right now. So we're going to go ahead and put that in place to have it echo the gallery, and then I'm going to start my unordered list. And I will give it also a class of gallery. You could give it a different class if you wanted, it's fine. And that's going to be the beginning of my unordered list, and then at the end of my unordered list, let's say down after my loop, because this is a for each loop, right? Down after my loop, I'm going to start my PHP up again. I'm going to have my ending UL tag. Okay, so right now, if you wanted to be really clear that this is a bunch of list items, you could tab that in if that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, and basically I'm going to just loop through image list as file name, and for right now, let's not have a break tag, right? What we want instead is we'd want list item, oops, an li tag, and an end li tag. Okay, and the image for right now is already grabbing the small file name, okay? And we don't have alt text yet, right? That's something that we could easily borrow some code up here for. Remember, we made all this alt text stuff up here. So what we can do is use the basic, we'll use the basic beginnings of that. So I'm going to copy it from the grab random image for the IMG. And this is HTML, or excuse me, it's PHP, so it actually needs to go in the PHP, and but the thing is, it needs to be inside the loop because we have to create the alt text as we're iterating for each thing while we're iterating through the loop. So I'm gonna drop this ending PHP tag down here, tab in, and I'm going to properly tag my tab my alt text in. Now, my alt is doing something a little different here, all right? Remember, we were using something called image before. Well, now we're inside of a loop and we're using file name, okay? So if we're going to stick with the whole file name business, then we need to change that. Or what might actually be easier is instead of changing this part to file name, why don't we change this to image? And then we'll be consistent for all of these things down here, so that every time we use the image, it's going to be using the variable of image, and that'll, I think, be a little bit more consistent. Okay, so that means we need to change it here as well. Okay, so let me recap what we just did. What we're doing is we're creating a list of thumbnails. Okay, for right now, that's all we've gotten done so far. And we are first announcing a gallery with an H2. Presumably we would have an H1 somewhere on the page. We don't yet, because this is, just sort of a test file. But so we'll have an H2, and then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to announce our gallery, and we're going to start with an open UL tag. We'll give it a class of gallery, and we're going to have our ending UL tag, and inside of that is where we have to create our loop. Okay, and inside of that we're going to do for each image list as image. All right, so far we've been doing image list as file name, but let's do image list as image. And then we're going to create the alt text. So alt is going to equal the string replacement of, basically it's going to look inside of the image that it's grabbing, and it's going to compare the iteration of image to the array list of all the file extensions in the file extension array, and it's going to strip anything that it finds that matches with nothing. It's going to strip and replace it with nothing. So basically it's just stripping the file extension off the end. And then we're saying alt is going to equal the uppercase words of the string replacement of itself minus the characters out of that characters array. So any kind of underscore or dash is going to be replaced with a space. Okay, so now we actually have something that we could put inside of this alt text. So we'd do our PHP tags, and we'd say echo alt. Okay, and what we're doing here is right now we're just going to make some little images, and this is actually correct. We're going to look at the current gallery path small, okay, because we want thumbnails, and then grab the current image. Okay, so this should give us a list. If we go and test it here, let me move this over, we'll hit refresh, and let's close this for a second, and you see in fact that it is giving us a list of images here. They're not links yet, but they are in a list. And if we wanted to see these in a way that was like less funky looking, more attractive, then we could go ahead and just really quickly add some styles. So let's go back to here, and we'll go into our style sheet, and then here I'm going to put some comments here. So this is going to be addresses random image pulled into HTML via IMG tag. Okay, and I'm going to put a comment on that so that we've got something that's a nice and easy comment to see. Okay, and then that's really clear what that's for. And then now I'm going to create another thing that is going to address the jQuery Lightbox gallery list. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and put my comment marks on that as well. And I'm just going to paste this in, and I'm going to explain it so that you don't have to watch me type all this. So I already created a class of gallery. So let's just say that it's going to be 80% in width. You can always change this up, padding 0, margin 0, and then auto so that it centers itself. And that's going to be anything basically that has gallery class assigned to it. That would include also the H2, since I assigned gallery to the H2, and also to the UL. And then if you wanted to do something really specific to gallery and UL, you could do something very specific. I gave the H2 a margin bottom of 2%, and I also made the gallery list, I made it overflow hidden because I am going to float its children, which are list items. And remember, if you float anything, you want to make its parent overflow hidden so that it doesn't collapse the container. basic rule of thumb. And so I've got the list items, I'm going to tell them to float. They don't have bullets. They've got some margins. I have them doing box sizing border box, and I have some box shadows on them, and so forth. Okay, and then the actual IMG tags, I have them set to display blocks so that they don't display as inline items, and the width is 100. Okay, so let's save that and see how that automatically changes things. And oh my goodness, look what it did. It did something very strange. Okay, well, I know why it did that. It's because I currently, and if you look in my rule set here, I have this gallery, I have the image set to be 100% of its parent, but the parent right now is got an A coming before it. And the problem is that I don't have an anchor tag wrapped around those things yet, but I'm going to. So let's fix that really fast. Let's go here and let's put an anchor reference around that image. So we'll do an A, href equals, and then right now we'll just leave that blank. And we'll just make sure that it actually behaves properly, and we'll put our ending A tag. Save that. And for right now, we could even just put a pound symbol there, save that, hit refresh, and then now they're behaving properly. Okay, they don't have active links, they don't do anything, but they are actually behaving properly. They're scaling and so forth. And I'm not going to mess with the responsive stuff right now. We're just going to get this to look in a way that is manageable. Okay, so instead of this pound symbol for the href, what we really want to do is we want to announce some PHP. We want to echo. And we basically want to copy this path, except we're going to change something. We're going to copy it, and we're going to change it so that instead of the small, we are getting the medium picture. Okay, and if you save that, you go over here and refresh it. You see now if I click it, it takes me to the medium picture. It's not doing Lightbox yet or anything, that's okay, but it's working. Okay, so far so good. The other thing that would be nice is if I hover over this thing, what would be nice is if it told me, give me a tooltip of what it was that I was looking at. That would be wonderful, because maybe I don't want to actually click on it. I just need some information about it. So that's where you would want to put like a title in here. So you'd say title equals, and it needs to be in the href, not in the img tag. And then what we would want to do is actually echo out alt. Okay, so I'm going to just copy this alt right here. I'm going to echo something that's human readable out. Doesn't look like a file name. That's the title. Hit refresh, and then when I hover, I get a tooltip. You see it says colored bricks, glass through perforations, hex ceramic tile, and so forth. Okay, so far so good. And let's go back, and one of the things that we didn't do, or that I didn't do, that you should do, is wrap the raw URL encode around the image in both the anchor link as well as the IMG tag. So what we're going to do here is find that spot and go raw URL encode, and put that around the image, and I'm going to do the same thing here then inside the actual image tag. Be careful, like when you're typing, not to type it before this concatenation mark and stuff. If you already gone down that road then and made that mistake, I'm sorry I didn't mention that sooner, but anyway, yeah, go ahead and do that. Save it. Just double check that you didn't make a typo. Go refresh your page. It seems to be working just fine. Then you're all good. I think at this point, what we'll do is we will stop here, and I'm gonna just go through your file, clean it up, make sure that everything is working properly, and in the next demonstration, I'm going to show you how you can actually implement the jQuery Lightbox stuff to this thumbnail gallery and make it open up in an overlay window. Okay.